Hello, everyone. Welcome back again. Um, if you did not have the opportunity to hear my videos about reading fluency, please check those out. They're on my Facebook page and on my website. My name is Brandy Cottrell. I was a special education teacher for 10 years. I have a master's degree. I was then a teacher trainer for a couple of years before I began homeschooling my own children. And I'm here today to continue sharing with you some ways to attack the common academic problems that many families see when homeschooling. Today, we're going to begin our discussion about reading comprehension. Now, I shared the past 2 days how important reading fluency is in the monster of reading comprehension. If your child is not reading fluently, they often are not comprehending what they're reading either. So if you are seeing a comprehension issue at home, first determine if there's a fluency issue. If there is, work on that for 10 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week, every day. 10 minutes a day, 3 to 4 days a week. Okay. Once you see an improvement in that fluency, if you are not seeing an improvement in the comprehension, then let's begin some specific strategies to work on this. Now, what I want to share with you today is the techniques that I use for my own children. My children have fantastic reading comprehension. I do not have any concerns with it, but this is what I use to continue to push and grow them in this area. The strategies of narration and discussion are two techniques to address reading comprehension without worksheets, and that is my key here. I do not like reading comprehension worksheets. I think worksheets are a great way to assess a child's reading comprehension, but to actually teach reading comprehension, I, I don't feel that that's what they do. Let's begin by discussing what is reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is understanding the text that we read. Not only understanding it and what it says, but making connections with it, thinking deeper about it. There are many, many levels of reading comprehension. So, how do I deepen my level of interaction with text? How do I deepen my child's level of interaction with text? Um, the strategy that I typically use is narration. Now, narration, what it is it's like a retelling. Research has shown that the best way to determine if a child comprehends something is if they can retell you what they just heard. Okay, so how I do narration. Now I'm going to put some clips of what this looks like on my website. So you can, under this video, if you're on my website, you can find some samples of what this actually looks like with my son. After I've read a passage, I simply look at my son and say, so what happened? Tell me what happened in this story. And then I listen to what he says. Now, why is this more effective than asking targeted questions? When I ask a targeted question, I'm telling my child what's important in this passage. Who's the main character? Where did he go? Why did he do that? I am giving them what I deem to be the most important things and asking them to give me the answer. When a child narrates and is given an open-ended question like, tell me what happened, not only am I able to hear if they can determine and find those important characteristics, but I can hear, are they putting things in order? Are they connecting to it in any way? Did they relate anything in their life to that passage? Did they relate any previous story or book that we've read to this passage? So you're able to learn so much more about what's going on in their brain as they're thinking about the text that has just been read. Not all children are ready to begin narrating. If you are brand new to this strategy, oftentimes what will happen is I'll read a chapter in the book and you'll look at your child and say, "So tell me what happened." And they'll just kind of look at you like, they don't really know where to begin. So, there are a lot of fun things that you can do to begin to develop these narration skills. And all of these strategies are going to help support that reading comprehension. Okay, modeling. So I might read and then I'm going to narrate that back to them. Well, first, there was this little girl and she lived with her grandmother, and her grandmother, or she lived with her mother, and her mother wanted her to take a picnic basket to her grandmother. So the little girl went into the woods. Okay, so I read the story and then I narrated. Now, after I narrate, I could ask my child to narrate again, or I could just stop. After I've done this a couple of times, your child's going to understand a little bit more what you're asking when you say, "Tell me what happened." Okay, another strategy is if I narrate, but then I pause every once in a while and ask them to add a detail that maybe I forgot or a next step in the sequence of the story. Okay, so they're actually helping me narrate. Okay, another strategy, taking a story walk. Now, my son and I actually created little stepping stones numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we lay those out on in the hallway, and he jumps from stone to stone as he tells me, first this happened, then this happened, after that this happened. So as you can hear, he's almost creating a writing about it with his words. Okay. Um, Another fun strategy is, rather than saying, "Well, what happened in this chapter?" just pick a portion of it, pick a character. The little girl's name is Little Red Riding Hood. Tell me everything you learned about Little Red Riding Hood. And then wait, or tell me everything you learned about the big bad wolf. Sometimes a child is a lot more willing to share about a specific portion of the story rather than the story as a whole. So you can always start there. Um, the next one is one of my favorites. When we read Shakespeare, I use this every time. We get out little characters, little animals is who we use from the animal bin. And as I'm reading, my child acts it out with these little animals. And then after I'm done reading, he is able to reenact it with the animals and kind of using them as talking. And so, although he's not writing it like he would be saying it like he would be writing a paragraph, he's almost putting it in a play form. Okay. Drawing a picture and then talking about it. Sometimes once you get those motor skills working for a child, they're willing to draw a picture of their favorite part. And then as they're sharing, you'll hear this whole story come out and you'll really get a big understanding of how much they understood in that story. And then another one that I love to use is pretend you were the big bad wolf in this story and tell me how you would feel. Or pretend you were Red Riding Hood, pretend you were grandma. How would you feel? Once again, you're going to hear information from your child that gives you an idea. Do they understand the plot of this story? Do they understand the main ideas? Are they connecting themselves with the characters in the story? Okay, so these are some of the top like prompts that I use to build narration skills. Now, at the end of the day, my goal is that when I'm done reading, my child will simply retell the story and talk about it and add and express themselves. But that can take years to get to that. We have been doing narration for a little over 2 years, and we are just at the stage now where I don't have to use any prompting. Typically, as soon as I finish, my son starts talking about what the story was about. I expand with discussion to help connect it to himself because he's not doing that independently yet. And I'm going to share that technique with you tomorrow. So I want you, if you have questions about narration, please feel free to email me or reach out to me. I would be happy to share more information about this strategy to you. This is the strategy that I use. Narration and discussion are the strategies I use when I write curriculum. I find that it is one of the most powerful strategies to teach and increase comprehension on deeper and deeper levels as children get older. I hope this was a helpful tip for you. Join me again tomorrow. We will continue to talk about reading comprehension, but we will talk about using discussion and discussion questions, the right type of questions to use. And once again, how are we going to do this while avoiding the worksheets? I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.